My name is Marissa Lewis, and for my stats research project, I'm doing the MTHFR and folate within the body. This research is a quantitative analysis on methylene tetrahydrofolate reductase, or MTHFR, and how it affects the human body when the mutation is present. This study will focus on the independent variable and the dependent variable and how they affect each other. For hypothesis 1, the null hypothesis is there is no significant relationship between the Hispanic population and the rate of expressing the MTHFR gene mutation. The alternative hypothesis is there is a significant increase between the Hispanic population and the rate of expressing the MTHFR gene mutation. For this first hypothesis, the independent variable is the Hispanic population, and the dependent variable is MTHFR gene mutation. For the second hypothesis, the null hypothesis is there is no significant relationship between the chances of getting pregnant and expressing the MTHFR gene mutation. And the alternative hypothesis is MTHFR gene mutation will have an effect on the chances of getting pregnant. For this second hypothesis, the independent variable is getting pregnant, and the dependent variable is having the gene mutation. For the third hypothesis, the null hypothesis is there is no significant relationship between supplementing with folate and the side effects of MTHFR gene mutation, and the alternative hypothesis is supplementing with folate will have an inverse relationship with MTHFR side effects. The independent variable for the third hypothesis is supplementing with folate, and the dependent variable being the side effects of MTHFR gene mutation. Before participating in this study, each subject will be tested to see if the MTHFR gene mutation is present. The MTHFR gene mutation is sometimes only tested once a subject has undergone multiple exams and cannot find a cause for the health issues they are experiencing. About 25% of the human population has the MTHFR mutation. Studies suggest reason to believe that nutrition has an effect on why the MTHFR gene can be expressed and passed on through generations. A study focuses on the Hispanic population and the rate of expressing the gene mutation. Once the test is run, dividing the subjects into groups based on ethnicity and the data that was analyzed. Women of childbearing age are concerned about the chances of becoming pregnant while expressing the MTHFR gene mutation. Because of the side effects of the mutation, more studies suggest that the chances of becoming pregnant for women who express the gene mutation based on the oocytes that are collected after ovarian stimulation can determine the chances of a woman becoming pregnant. The test to run to see how many oocytes are present post-receiving controlled ovarian stimulation. There's been previous studies done to see the direct correlation between this disease and the insufficient folate levels within the body. As a result of this study, supplementing with folate will be an indicator whether it can affect the status of the MTHFR gene mutation side effects. The test to be run will be collecting data on symptoms, side effects, all while supplementing with folate. And then testing again to see if the same side effects were present before supplementing with folate. The type of test that will be run for each hypothesis. So for hypothesis 1, correlation analysis, this type of statistical test will be used to address a relationship between the independent variable, being the Hispanic population, and the dependent variable being MTHFR gene mutation. For hypothesis 2, regression analysis, this type of test will be used to predict the statistical significance of the chances of getting pregnant, being the independent variable, based on females who express the MTHFR gene mutation, and that being the dependent variable. For hypothesis 3, we'll be using a one-sample t-test. This type of test will be used to address the statistical significance of supplementing with folate, being the independent variable, to affect the symptoms and side effects of the MTHFR gene mutation side effects, that being the dependent variable. For concluding remarks, the understanding of the test results should conclude that the null hypothesis for hypothesis 1 will be rejected because there indeed is a relationship between the independent variable and the dependent variable. There is a higher rate of MTHFR gene mutation in the Hispanic population. For hypothesis 2, it is expected, the expected results is that the null hypothesis will be rejected because the chances of getting pregnant are lower when expressing the MTHFR gene. For hypothesis 3, results from hypothesis 3 are expected to reject the null hypothesis, indicating that supplementing with folate will decrease the side effects of the MTHFR gene mutation because the amount of folate consumed does not change how folate is absorbed and used within the body when expressing the MTHFR gene mutation. And here are my references that I used for all of the studies that I researched and previous data analyzed based on my project.